セガサターンシロ
What is up, everybody? Happy Friday,
welcome
SHIRO
to the
show.
SHIRO show.
Hey everybody,
How you doing?
welcome on in.
Welcome.
Seat of our pants, let me tell you. It's like Mission Impossible. Every week. Yeah, every week, but
It's not
this
fun
time
if it's
more
not
so,
difficult.
right? You just
I'm just glad we can hear you, Dave, because
I'm glad you
you were
can hear me
having
too.
some audio
Yeah.
issues.
well, first it
You
would
just have
just
to fix the
for this.
robo, Dave.
first it just wouldn't work
I'm just joking.
at all, and then it
about
worked. I could hear everything, but I didn't have phantom power, so then I had to reset it and anyway, here we are.
Brother.
Happy Friday. Go
Yes.
Padres.
Happy Friday.
Go Guards.
Yeah, go Guards. I'll cheer for you for now.
My SHIRO hat. Here you go, Dan.
Okay, thanks.
Did you get that hat?
No, I can't quite reach it, Pat. Sorry.
It's fine. Sorry. I'll try to send it to you next
Yeah,
time.
so we
Okay,
got
sounds good.
the Guardians clinched the wild card. I think they're gonna clinch the division. Yeah.
They clinched. Yeah, they clinched making the playoffs
Right.
last night.
Right.
In exciting fashion, a walk-off win at the bottom of the 10th inning at home. So that was cool way to do it. But yeah, like they're up like 5 games in the division, and we have like 8 games to play. So yeah, they're probably gonna
I
win.
think
the
they're more.
division.
I think they're up more than 5 games. I think they're up like 8 games, right?
No, yeah, I think it's like 6.
Is
Or
it?
something,
Okay,
5.5,
okay.
6
I know,
games.
yeah,
on
it's
the-
like-
on the Royal.
It might be insurmountable at this time for anybody to surpass them. So yeah. So
Yeah.
congrats to that, and you shared an
Thanks.
interesting stat before that all 3 of your teams, right?
Yeah, so Cleveland has, basketball, football, and baseball teams, and this is the second time in history that all 3 teams have made the playoffs in the same 12-month stretch.
Nice.
The Cavs made the playoffs earlier in the spring, and then the Browns made the playoffs at the beginning of this year. So that's cool. Last time that happened was 1995, so it's been a while.
Wow. Yeah.
Go
So
Bears.
it's nice. That's nice. Diamondbacks are right behind the Pods, so we'll see what happens. But we have some.
We'll see what happens.
Tonight we're going
I
up
have-
against the worst team in baseball history, the Chicago White Sox, who have only
yeah.
won. They've only won 36 games this year, and they've lost 117.
Well, it could be worse. Could
Pretty
be the
pitiful.
Cubs.
Well, it could be worse. They could beat
No,
us
actually,
tonight by
The
some.
Cubs are not nearly as bad.
By some strange the way baseball works, watch something weird will happen and the Cubs will end up, or sorry, the White Sox will end up beating the Padres, and I will be crying. I hope that's
Dave
not.
will just be on the SHIRO show being like, I quit SHIRO. This is such
I'm just
BS.
saying, in years-
I can't believe the Padres lost to
In
the White
years
Sox.
when the Padres have sucked, I've watched the Padres play spoiler to several good teams at the end of the regular season, and I'm just like, no, we better win this game. We better sweep this entire series. But yeah, so I'm excited.
Yeah,
I
good
like
luck to the
baseball.
Padres.
Yeah, good.
baseball.
Yeah, go baseball.
Honestly, I've been watching the Guardians every night instead of playing video games.
Right, yeah,
I've been
yeah.
neglecting my poor Saturn,
You're
so I'm
in
just
it.
I'm so into it.
Why
Yeah.
don't you just play either Saturn and watch baseball at the same time?
Okay, so I tried that one night a
Yeah.
while ago, and it's hard to concentrate on both because
Yeah.
it's like you just keep pausing the game when something intense is happening. So.
Exactly. Yeah.
just
tough
feel
to
like
do.
the radio, just like what we did back in the day, just listen on the radio.
There's a few
Used
games.
to it.
Yeah.
There's a few games you can play on the Switch or on a DS or something that the Etrian Odyssey series or the Persona Q series. I could always play that and watch TV or watch anime at the same time because you're really just kind of drawing on the map and it's like monotonous grinding, But whenever it's story-driven gameplay, then I'm just like, I'm trying to read the subtitles up there and watch the anime and then play a game.
Yeah, or something like MiSTer, where it's you have to think about what you're doing. You're
Oh,
not
yeah.
just going through the motions. So
Yeah.
yeah. Hey, real quick, while I have the stage, I know you got to read off chat, but I just wanted to show my pickup, and it was a
Ooh.
Shantae swimsuit comic book.
Can you hold it
I
up
got it,
closer?
the
Can you hold it up
Yeah,
close?
hold it up closer so I can
Really
I can
close.
Google it.
Wow.
Take a look at it.
Swimsuit special.
Wow.
Yeah, it does actually have a little story in it. It's like a cute little comic about them building a hot tub and then it gets broken. So yeah, but yeah, it's a lot of good artwork in here too is fun. I'm a Shantae fan,
Is it
so
like,
I had to
is it
put a
like one of
comic
those
book.
bathroom staples?
Bathroom staples. What do you mean?
Like you put the magazine in the bathroom for reading material?
Oh no, I wouldn't put it at risk like that. You never know what
No,
can
you don't
happen
wanna
in a
get water
bathroom.
on
Something
it.
splashes. Right? Yeah. No.
I mean,
Or something
probably
else.
worse than water, but I mean,
Yeah.
or anything else, right? So yeah, that was my little pickup.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I don't think I've had any pickups this week. I will read off chat. Yeah, I want to acknowledge everybody who got here early. Wiener Bob first, Sega, Neil Henderson, Saturn, Analog Black Sheep, SHIRO. We got Tales of Saturn, Christian Marte, Captain Hawden, Craig Williamson, Dragons of Saturn. Our bros, the Sega guys. I think that's James. Change the narrative. Hashtag change the narrative. Paul Bort is here. Pierre Garot. We've got Raiden, David Zaney, Slowcoin, Double Dime. We've got GG. We've got Chris Housen, Cerulean, Dark Savior 69. Great name. Word up. Who else? Danthrax. Who's that guy?
Bo is here.
Captain
he said he's on his way
Hawden.
to the Sonic Symphony.
Where? Oh yeah, Bo Bayles. Okay.
I believe that's
Oh,
him.
nice. Yes. He's the
Yeah,
last
that
one
is,
to
yeah.
join chat. We've got who else on that list? Nathan Anderson, Colin Pierce, Captain Hawden, if I didn't already say it, and then Eddie G and Bo Bayles. Welcome all 38 of you to the SHIRO Show chat.
Yep.
You guys
Thanks for watching.
Oh, and Moose Track,
Welcome to the
who just
party.
joined us. What's up?
course.
Welcome to the party. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for joining us, and help us out by giving us a like and maybe sharing it out on your social media or to friends. You know, go in your Discord servers and bug everybody by doing @everybody. SHIRO Show's on. Go watch some Saturn news.
Or just spam all the channels with some Bitcoin scams.
There you go. Yeah.
Usually happens with us.
That's right.
Yeah.
Like donate 100 Bitcoin and get 1,000 back, and then it's like, where's all my 100 Bitcoin? Or I guess it's probably like 1 Bitcoin now. I don't think I know anybody that's like 100 Bitcoin. If they did, they wouldn't be talking to me.
Yes, that's a lot.
Exactly.
So what's new with you, Pat? Anything cool this week?
I got a new webcam, as you could probably see.
You did.
From the
I love it. I'm glad you
Good.
did it. Yeah, because
Yeah,
you're like in
so-
HD now.
yeah, the HD Pat. I don't think the world's ready for HD Pat, to be honest.
But
The
I mean,
world is
like
not ready.
your other cam was technically HD too, right? It was a Logitech.
It
was
just
like
sucked.
it just sucked. And that's the same thing with me. I mean, like I've used Logitech, I don't know, controllers before, like game controllers, Logitech keyboard, mouse, or whatever. But a lot of their stuff sucks now. Like they've really gone downhill in terms of quality,
Yeah.
and their
To be
cameras.
fair, though, they've always been shit for me,
Okay.
bad for me. Sorry,
Okay.
I'm not allowed to say that word yet, but no,
Oh,
they've always
really?
been bad for me. Like I literally went through I've had like headsets that I went through like 3 or 4 pairs of them for Logitech. I had a Logitech mouse that broke on me. Like I just had bad luck with mice. Like literally the one mouse I've been using since 2009 was the Microsoft Sidewinder original gaming mouse.
Yes,
I
I
use
know.
that for everything. I don't use any other mouse. I've been using it since 2009, and I every time one breaks, I just buy another one on eBay.
And for
they
folks who
still
have
work.
been watching SHIRO Show for a long time, they've already heard you sing that mouse's praises. Like
It's one of the best praises of all, like one of the best mice of all time. If you guys need a mouse,
Microsoft
mouse that-
Sidewinder
yeah, it's the Microsoft Sidewinder gaming mouse. It has like a red little stripe on it.
Came out in the
I can't look
90s,
this
right?
one up. No, it came out 2009.
Oh, 2009. Oh, okay. I'm thinking of a totally different thing.
That kind of counts as retro at this point. It's 15
Yeah,
years
2009
ago.
is still, yeah, exactly 15
And
years
it's still
old.
tanking along. I mean, it has cred though. I beat the Doom Eternal in Nightmare mode, and I like completely
Wow.
with just that mouse.
So you
That
you
is
just
impressive.
buy new old stock?
New old stock or used mice.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah.
So yeah, it's one of my favorite mice or mouses.
Mice?
Mouse to use.
Mice, yeah.
Mices, but it's really good. I like that one. There really hasn't been a mouse that I've been happy with. Yeah, it's USB.
2009, yeah,
2009,
sure.
it's
It'd
the
be like
USB.
USB 2 or something, right? I don't know.
Yeah, I think
I don't
it's
think
pretty
that
much
really
two,
even
yeah.
matters, right? Yeah, it's
Yeah,
not like...
I mean, like I said, it's like it hasn't given me any issues. It works fine, and I was able to beat Doom Eternal on Nightmare. So I mean, still got some chops in it. USB-B. Yeah, it's not USB-C yet, unfortunately. Or I can mod it, but like I said, it's a good mouse. Honestly, there's been nothing that really compared to it. Like every other mouse I felt just didn't feel right. So maybe one day I'll find a mouse that's not garbage, but until now.
Sounds like you've got a plan.
For you.
So yeah,
Exactly.
what about you, Dan? Besides the Shantae pickup?
Oh, I accidentally gave all my updates already before you even read off the names, so sorry about that.
Okay.
I had the Shantae comic. I've been watching Guardians games. And work was really busy this week. Yeah, not much else. We planted a couple of mums in the front yard in the pots. We had like pansies in the pots, and they kind of died. Like they weren't totally dead, but they were mostly dead, and they looked pitiful. So I was like, okay, it's mid-September. It's mum season, so yeah, we put some fresh flowers in there, so that already looks a little nicer.
I've been I haven't had any time to play Saturn, sadly. I would love to partake in the community challenge.
Well, you're getting ready for PRGE, which is next week, right?
And
We're
it's
playing
so
lots of Saturn there.
well,
Yeah.
so Jesse started fall ball, and I've been taking him to his games and practices. That's fun. Junie she's in soccer, and so I've been schlepping the kids a lot. Not complaining. It's been fun, supporting them in their sports and stuff. And Jesse does Boy Scouts on Monday, but any little bit of time that I get in the evening, I'm just basically like working on these slides for the presentation. Like writing up the little blurbs on each innovation that Sega made. And one thing I'm coming to realize is that, and I told this to James from the Sega guys, Sega, they were so incredibly innovative in a short period of time. But their Achilles heel is that they were always just way too ahead of time to be able to benefit from the I guess you could say, all of their efforts, the fruit of their efforts. Other companies have come along and been like, oh, that's a great idea, let's do it, because it's 10 years later and consumers are ready for it. But Sega, it's like they were always just way too early. Take 32X, for example, right? It really is just a situation of wrong time, right? Like really bad timing. Because if you remove Saturn, if you remove the situation with Saturn, the Sega of Japan being ready to push out Saturn, and I would say that really is the qualifier right there. Sega of Japan, they were ready to move on, and they didn't have that kind of success with the Genesis. They were ready to push out Saturn, and I say Sega of America should have just fallen in line and said, okay, we're gonna be on a united front, and push out this new console.
Should've.
But take Saturn out of the picture, and let's just talk about 32X in terms of it being an utter failure, right? Look at Sony. Look at Sony mid-gen putting out a new, very very marginal upgrade on the PS5. Look at all of these companies over the years that have put out mid-gen upgrades, like the new Nintendo 3DS, which basically to play the new games you have to have that hardware. You look at all these different consoles. It is completely normal for them to put out mid-generation updates to a console, and people just have no problem with it, right? Genesis came out.
Nobody complains about it.
Genesis came out in '89, and the 32X went out in '94. Okay, so think about that. That's like 5 years, if that, right? By nowadays standards, no big deal. Back then, Sega tried it and it didn't work for them,
Right. I mean, to be fair, generations last longer now than they used to.
They do.
Like generations used to be pretty much 4 or 5 years.
4 or 5 years.
Moving on. And now
right.
it's like 8, 9 years.
Yeah.
So technology just slowed down.
Yeah, it's a little bit different for compared to then to now, because now it's like Dan was saying,
it totally
like,
is.
They're still making like PS4 games, and it's been like 2013. Like
they released Yeah.
They're still being released, and it's still a console. I still tell people, don't get a PS5, get a PS4 Pro.
Definitely.
Because you can get it cheaper.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
Like most of the games you can play for it that you really want to play if you want a console thing. Yeah, you can't play Demon Souls remake. Maybe you can't play like some of the other ones, but it's like most of the stuff, like even like Miles Morales came out on PS4, I think. For Spider-Man.
Look at Persona 5. Came out on PS3, PS4, and PS5. And people give Sega a hard time for supporting so many consoles at the same time. so much has changed really about the industry. You
Yeah.
just couldn't get away with that kind of stuff back then, and that is why I say Sega were kind of ahead of their time, because it's like they were playing the game the way it's played nowadays, but they were doing it back in the 90s and expecting it to work, and it just didn't. It's
yeah,
again,
I mean, that's an interesting way to look at it.
yeah. But I mean, if you
Yeah.
just look at the 32X, if you don't know anything about anything else, and you just look at the 32X, you see a nice little upgrade that really supercharges the Genesis quite a bit, allowing it to play, some 32-bit 3D games and some enhanced 2D titles. So all things considered, taken out of context and it's on its own merits, it's kind of interesting. It's compelling as a system upgrade for a 5-year console lifespan. That's not I think asking too much, but it just came at the wrong time, really. And Sega was way too ahead of their time. And that is the theme of the panel that we're going to deliver at PRGE, is just like
Right place, wrong time.
I am not even kidding you. We might not even be able to cover all the things that they did, where they were way too ahead of their time.
I'm more concerned of doing the panel with 5 people. Hopefully we can get that all sorted.
We're gonna make it work. I think it's gonna be fun regardless. And it sounds like we're not gonna have like a Q&A period. They kind of changed things up, so we're gonna have to have everybody come back to the Sega Lounge if they want Q&A, because it's just otherwise it would eat into the time for our panel. But anyway, it'll be interesting.
Yeah, we can figure out something out. But it's honestly though, I think it's kind of funny now. I think PlayStation 5 PlayStation's getting the fate of, getting the fate of Sega now with the PS5 Pro. Like everyone's like against it.
Sure.
Like there's still no games to the PS5 really that's worth playing.
Yeah, there's a lot of pushback, and you can only.
It's like history repeating itself. Really,
it is kind of like history repeating itself a little bit. I mean, we've seen that with Sony doing the PS3 and people saying, "Oh, the cell processor and everything." It reminds me a lot of how people used to talk about how complicated Saturn's architecture was. I've seen a lot of those little glimpses, but of course, with a company that has so much cash reserves, they can kind of weather those storms.
Yeah.
That's one thing that Sega never did have, is just a ton of cash reserves, and of course, the owner did give a lot of his money just to keep them afloat, but that's
toward the end.
Still, it was a drop in the bucket compared to the kind of money we're talking that Nintendo and Sony have. But anyway, I digress. I can pull up the browser if you guys want to get into the news, if we don't have any more updates.
Sure.
We can. I like the conversation we had complaining about Sony. That was fun.
Oh, it's fun, right? I don't want anybody to think that I'm like a Sony hater. Oh, Pat has a pickup. Pat got a pickup, a digital pickup. Yeah? Sony?
What?
PS5?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, Dave was kind enough and sent me a code for Astrobot.
Yeah,
oh, nice.
Actually,
the new one,
yeah, the new
one,
one,
original one.
The new one, yeah.
The new one.
Okay.
Yeah, my brother-in-law works for the studio that, and he's actually working on trailers and stuff for it now. So he was like, "Do you have a PS5 and you want to play this?" And I was like, "I don't, but my friend does." So yeah, Pat was able to get that, so that's cool. I'm trying to pay him back for his Crunchyroll for giving me his Crunchyroll.
But no, it's funny because like we started playing that right after we finished Space Marine.
Mm-hmm.
Like we just finished Space Marine like the other day. We're doing some paint stuff and we're gonna start playing more of Astrobot. But it seems pretty fun so far. It reminds me a lot because I like the original Astro's Playroom when that came out when it came out when the PlayStation 5 first came out.
Yeah,
it was a lot of fun and really fun. I want more of that. So I'm happy that they're doing it, and Sony's finally making a game that's not a third-person over the shoulders narrative-driven experience. Narrative story-driven experience, because that seems like all they make nowadays. Yeah. And while I have respect for the people that make some of these games, it's just like you can only play so many of them. Like I mean, I think there's a big discussion people have been having with the new Space Marine where it's saying that that they liked it because it's going back to the gameplay first, having fun versus a giant story-driven narrative thing. That's like a lot of people aren't really enjoying as much, which. I mean, that's a debate for another time. I guess it's down to personal opinion, but it's one that's come up that I kind of agree with, where it seems like we've gotten to this point where games are movies, and stuff. And while it's not necessarily bad, I respect the medium for what they do. It's just something that's not for me. Like I'd rather play something like Cotton or something silly, or like some of these other indie games or
You are
things.
absolutely right. And I mean, that has a profound effect on the industry as a whole. It's like you have these teams that are putting out these massive like AAA titles, and we just don't see as much of the smaller games that are supposed to hold them over during that time, you know? Instead, it's like they're banking everything.
Games.
Yeah, the mid-budget. Yeah, where did all those go? And we had a lot of that during the PS3 era, but it's like you just don't see it as much. And I feel like you know, these companies, they rely on the AAA titles so much, and they don't have those other games coming out in between to kind of fall back on, and it just feels more like a drought in between, you know. That's just something I've noticed
right now. Yeah,
exactly. So, you know, then fans complain because it's just, you know, we got used to more games, you know. But I mean, the Switch, I feel, is kind of different. Like the Switch just has a ton of stuff, but then again, Nintendo, they kind of have a completely different focus, you know, for their stuff. But I think it's funny though that everybody's calling Astrobot like the Sony's Mario game. You know, what does that say about Mario, right?
What does it say about Sony?
So what does it say about Sony? It says that it took them 5 generations, as Cerulean said, to be able to figure out how to make a good platformer. You know.
Yeah, no, I'm really happy. I'm really happy about it. I really hope Sony, like, I don't want it to be negative, like, oh, I hate Sony, hope they fail.
No.
I want them to like be better. Like, I want a reason to like get a PS5, like get a PS5 Pro or a PS6 when that drops. It's like I want something that's like I can play it and have these games. Like I don't have to be like, oh, I'll just wait for it to drop on PC.
Well, you play the Yakuza games on your Sony, on your PS4 or PS5?
PS4.
PS4. Okay.
The PS5 is in the living room. That's for like games when we play together or as a streaming device for Crunchyroll. And then the PS4 in my Pro in my room is for just private games, or just like not private. That sounded really bad.
Yeah.
Games that's like single player experiences that I don't want that I think my roommate wouldn't appreciate me just be going through in the living room.
I just love that your PS5 is like your streaming device for Crunchyroll. What over-engineered.
I know.
Like,
it's kind of a sad state of affairs.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the case for a lot of folks who have like played what they have and then don't have a whole lot else to play. And they're just like using it for Netflix or Crunchyroll or whatever.
Good Netflix machine.
Yeah. You know, the Wii was a Netflix machine. The PS2 had Netflix.
I do remember that.
Fun fact.
That was crazy.
Standard def. Okay, yeah. Dan, I know we need to get into the news. That's fine.
What? No, it's fine. You know what?
You
guys
sighed.
have been having
you
a
had a
lovely
long sigh of relief.
I'm just over here totally not working on my MiSTer story that I posted right before we went on live, and
totally not.
Didn't quite finish. So you know, I'm getting in some good work over here.
I guess Dan just works really well under the gun because he likes to post.
I do. When I have all the time in the world, I can't do anything.
During the show.
Yeah, I can't get anything done when I have all the time in the world. When it's like, oh my god, I've got 20 minutes, then I'm furious. I'm working furious. I don't know. That's just how it works. Just how my brain works. I
where
guess.
do we?
We just have to yell at you, Dan.
Do we begin with Bayles and the Doom thing? Is that where we're starting?
Yes.
Nice. Okay, I'll bring that up.
Found a bevy of cheat codes across 3 Saturn games and decided to just talk about them all in the same article.
And one of them got big media coverage too.
Very nice.
Yeah, Doom. People like to hear about Doom.
We need to have them,
well, we're talking about it now, so
I mean, we have them like we have to give them anticipation to listen to the story and see. Oh, which one was it?
Sorry.
Under the microscope.
Sorry, I ruined it.
This is the new series that he's doing, Under the Microscope. Doom, Revolution X, Earthworm Jim 2. This is 3 games that he's covering here. Do you want to well, you know, Bo is in the chat, but I don't think he's in the room to be able to talk about it.
If he wants to join on the audio, we can, or Dan can read it out. Dan wrote.
Me? Why don't you read it out? I've got 2 stories I got.
Okay, I'll do that. You go ahead, Pat. You go ahead.
Okay.
There you go.
So, we're just beefing live on air. We're
Seriously,
as professional as ever.
Very coordinated.
Exactly. But anyways, so we're gonna cover Bo Bayles' story. He looked into 3 different Saturn games this last 2 weeks, I think. I don't know like what the time frame of him looking it up from publishing it is, but anyways, we're covering 3 games this week. Doom Revolution X, which is probably the best music game of all time ever released. And Earthworm Jim.
Definitely.
You said
Aerosmith
that so
sucks.
fast it sounded like it was Doom Revolution X, like a
Doom Revolution
crossover.
X.
That sounds like a
Yeah.
cool spinoff.
You fight as Steve Perry shooting zombies.
Right.
Not Steve Perry. That's from
Doom,
that's
Revolution X, Earthworm Jim 2.
Doom Revolution X. I would pay it for a Steven Tyler game, and then we'll have Tommy Tallarico do the soundtrack of it.
There you go.
Because he's done
Because he'll
all the
totally do
soundtracks.
all of it. He'll do the entire
Yeah.
soundtrack himself.
He did. That's confirmed. He even played the main character.
That's right.
Like Steven Tyler was like, before I die, make sure my cousin Tommy Tallarico, the greatest composer of all time, is recognized for his greatness, and then dies with a shotgun in his hand after getting killed
my God.
by a revenant. But
So,
anyways,
yes.
what do we got for Doom?
Tommy bashing aside, so Doom. So this one is interesting. This one is basically it's a cheat code that actually was referenced or another cheat code, and the walls will become semi-transparent, so it'll give you wall hacks technically. So if you want to play the video in the chat, it gives you like
Oh yeah,
these
sure.
wall hacks, so you can be a filthy cheater.
Yeah, you can see right through them.
So that's kind of
Look at that transparency on the Saturn. It's beautiful.
See, there's transparencies on Saturn, people.
Yeah, it exists. It's real.
And the craziest thing is, not only did Yahoo Finance write it up, as in the same Yahoo that, your old email address you have from the 90s that you don't use anymore, and a German one, which I actually can read, from Digital Pioneer. 27 Jahre später, Spieler findet bislang und entdeckten Cheatcode in Doom. I won't read that all in German, but essentially
Sounded
it
good to
says-
me.
Yeah, Doom is the for become. It's a whole article on. It's pretty much just like talking about what we talked about. So
Wait,
just
that's
a
on
rundown
Yahoo
cheat code.
Finance?
Yeah,
Yeah, of all places.
Okay, of all
I don't know why
places.
Yahoo Finance
Someone
is
discovered
covering
a new
it.
cheat code.
Content aggregators work in mysterious ways.
Yeah, I guess the Saturn being the flop, they wanted to cover it.
That's
Maybe?
crazy. Either that or it means that the Saturn has become like super mainstream.
It's no exhumed, Dark Savior 69 said. Yeah, exactly.
But yeah,
Doom on Saturn, no power slave.
well, it is. It's a little simple cheat code. It's still really cool that they're still finding this X-ray vision and all these cheat codes after all these years.
Well, and he lists out all the other cheat codes he found in Doom, which I think some of them we knew about and some of them maybe we didn't.
Yeah.
So we
All
got
powerful mode.
Yeah.
Map. What is it? Map all lines. Map all things. Nothing. That's a good cheat code.
I think he could figure out anyway.
Warp. Nothing. So a few of these are codes that exist, but they have nothing that goes with them. And then translucent walls.
Yeah, either they do nothing, or he can't figure out
the
what
connection
they
of what they do. Yeah. So maybe it's like he may figure it out somewhere along the way and then upload the update. Sorry, not upload. Update
the article.
The article. Next, we have Revolution X, which this game, man, in the arcade, as just an arcade game, this was a real enigma to me as a kid. Like, I was just like, Aerosmith did their own game, and then of course they ported it.
It was like a light gun game, right?
Right. Yeah. It was a light gun shooter, and
on the Saturn, it doesn't use the light gun. You just have to use a D-pad.
Exactly.
I'm guessing no light gun support either.
No light gun.
I mean, it came out. Wasn't it late '95? So they probably just didn't get the the code to use light guns, since it's a third-party game. That's what I'm guessing anyway.
Moose Track says it looks terrible but plays fun. I can think of a few other light game. Now let's see. What is it? The one that Panda loves so much. Death Crimson.
Death Crimson, yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah, that one is also. It looks terrible, but it's
Crimson.
actually a lot of fun. Maybe somewhat ironically, but yeah, it's pretty fun.
And we finally got a translation of the Dreamcast one too.
What's the proper subtitle for this game? Is it Revolution X featuring Aerosmith or Revolution X Music is the Weapon?
I always thought it was
Both are on
Future
its title
Nature.
screen.
Tissue.
Either way, it's got a secret sheet menu. Go to the options screen, hold down C+X, and enter this sequence very quickly. Down, down, up, up, left, right, Y. You'll hear a sound effect, how dare you. You'll hear the sound effect, how dare you, if you did it fast enough. Go to the last item and press right, and it will change from go to menu to go to secret. Cheat options menu allowed you to give yourself unlimited CDs, laser discs, that one's for Pat, and super guns. Laser discs and super guns.
You used to throw the jam adapters at them,
right?
The super guns, just like
and then
throw
your
my
laser
super
discs.
gun at it.
Just throw whole Dragon's Lair cabinets at folks. You get the laser disc and everything.
Just like throw just throw those. Those machines are heavy though, but
yeah.
Actually that's actually cool. They had laser disc. I guess it's like a super weapon you shoot at them.
Right. It's just a bigger CD, right? More damage. CD. More damage. But for fun fact, was it you, Pat, that recently told me that laser discs have like superior sound quality to CDs? I don't think I told you that. Is that not true? Or that laser discs have like really, really good audio quality?
Not exactly. Some of the things that at the end of the day it's still analog audio, or the analog audio from the discs using the output of the jack. But you can't. They do have. It is superior like that way. 'Cause you actually could get digital optical out.
Right.
Using like receivers and stuff using the Laserdisc, and then AC3 it's supported as well, but AC3 is very lossy.
So wait, could you have hypothetically, theoretically, could you have like a Steely Dan album released on Laserdisc, and because it's analog, you'd still have like the full like range of frequency?
Well, it really depends on how they do it. Like, because if it's a digital. Yeah, if it's a digital disc and like you have the optical output and it can hold the data for 16 or 32-bit analog signals, it could technically be a little bit more high quality with optical out, but I'm not sure by how much, to be honest. Like the things I don't know the output of it if it could support something like that.
Okay, but there's no sample rate. There's no sample rate or anything. It's just because it's not sample based, right? It's just analog.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, it's still digital. Like if they put it on, it depends on how they do it. If it's analog audio, I believe they could technically press the analog data to the disc and output it in an analog format.
Okay,
but like more than likely it'll be supported by digital, like because it's pretty much digital signals pressed to an analog disc. It's really weird.
That is really weird
thing. Like
it's
complicated. I guess is the answer.
Huh?
Never mind.
So about
you
that
made a
Revolution
look.
X
You had a look on your face like, what have I done?
we have gone far off the track here.
Why am I on this show with these guys?
About audio quality of laser discs.
Sorry, I have ADD. I have ADDs.
Okay.
I get distracted easily.
Let's just leave all laser discs for the toys in the attic.
Yeah.
We gotta dream on, and we just gotta dream on. Yeah, we gotta dream on and keep going with the article, and let that train keep moving all night long, or the train kept moving.
So basically,
like
unlimited CDs, laser discs, super guns, let you turn on your invincibility and change your starting level, and then he goes into kind of like the actual code that makes that happen. Earthworm Jim 2. Cheat code sites have a bunch of codes listed for the Saturn NTSC-U version of this game, and he provides links for that, but the equivalent ones for the PAL and NTSC-J ones have mostly remained undocumented. On the NTSC-U version, the function blah blah blah, whatever this code is, listens for button presses when the game is paused. It refers to another number here, which describes the button sequences for 15 different cheat codes. There's an equivalent table in the PAL version and the NTSC-J version. So here's the full list of cheat codes for each version. So effectively, now you could definitely give this information to like the Code Twink or whatever, all the different sites online. There's like
Cheat Code Central.
Exactly, Cheat Code Central. There
I mean,
you
it's
go.
kind of crazy that like we didn't have like the European and Japanese cheat codes for Earthworm Jim 2 after all these years. Also kind of weird that they would come up with completely different cheat codes for all 3 regions. Like, doesn't that seem kind of strange to you?
Very.
I mean, it might have been just like just testers that did it. Like maybe they implemented it when they were localizing it.
Maybe. But
I mean,
they're
they're the
version,
same.
well, Japanese would
Yeah.
be localized, but like the U.S. version wouldn't.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. But
mean,
it's
look,
cool that Bo found all this stuff. And there's 2 codes that he doesn't even know what they do.
Interlace mode. Well, interlace mode is like for the NTSCU is like C, A, left, down, left, right, left, left. But for the PAL version, it's just A. You're just like mashing the A button. That's so weird.
Yeah.
And then
what a code.
Yeah, what a code. Easy. But yeah, so now there's 3 new games that have new cheat codes. That's awesome, and definitely check out Bo's Rings of Saturn blog, where you can find a bunch more good stuff, cheat codes and other stuff, patches that you can apply to your games to make them do weird shit. Can I say that word, Pat? Can I say it now?
You can.
We're late enough in the show.
Yeah, we're late enough in the show. I've been getting really tired now because I'm watching YouTube and like they're censoring every other curse word like when I watch it. And it gets annoying because like I watched like I don't know if anybody knows who Low Tier God is. He basically is the streamer that like gets rage and like he just like gets raging at games and just curses all the time. And like every other word was censored. It's like, well, that's like the whole shtick of him is him cursing and making a big deal. It's like I feel like I'm watching TV again.
Have a waste.
Like the thing is that that's what I like about YouTube. You don't have to like. They didn't have to censor. This was TV without saying curse words, and now everyone's censoring and get like this monetization, and it's like, why are we doing this? Why are we back to doing this stuff? I'd rather not. Yeah, it's just ridiculous. If I want to watch daytime television, I'll watch daytime television.
Advertisers don't like swears.
I want
YouTube has to
hear
pay the
asses and shits and fucks. Why can't we?
Well, you're hearing them here on the SHIRO show, which is on YouTube. So there you go.
Exactly.
I wonder if it'll make a difference that you said all those words right
We're
after another.
definitely getting demonetized.
Well, how about if I just I will do a rendition of what's the name? Carl something. Not Carl Sagan. The dude that like the comedian Carl something. I forgot what his name was.
I'd help you, but I don't know who you're talking about.
The comedian. He's like he has like the 6 and oddie, like the 7 bad words or whatever.
Oh,
like a
yeah.
famous comedian. I forgot what his name was.
Darn it! I know who you're talking about. You're talking about the dude.
Yeah, I know you mean too.
Baseball and football, right?
Yeah, that guy. Yeah, I forgot what his name was. If anybody knows, and
let us know in the chat.
I forgot what his name was. He was in like Dogma as the priest.
Yeah,
it was really funny.
Why can't we think of his name now that I'm trying?
It's Carl
like
something.
George Carlin.
George Carlin.
George Carlin. There you go. Thank you, MiSTer.
I'm just
guys.
Googling it.
I actually watched a special with him. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
I like
best of Saturn.
Thank you for
Virtual
bailing
Cop
us out,
2.
Mr. Fredrickson.
Virtual Cop 2 kicks off our 6th year of the Best of Saturn series in style and introduces our all-new gold and silver hashtags. Okay, once a month we will showcase a game that has already been featured in the series but is worthy of being highlighted as the very best that the system has to offer. Accordingly, we will give silver and gold games a slightly longer write-up. Oh, nice. I get to read some more. Janet Marshall joins Rage and Smarty at the Virtuous City PD as they take on three all new levels of shooting action. Building on the excellent visuals of the first Virtual Cop conversion, Cop 2 takes it to the next level with more set pieces, more on-screen action, and more things to shoot. The action includes police car chases, boarding a high-speed train, infiltrating a cruise ship, and of course locating the bad guy's secret lair. 1 or 2 players can take control of Virtue City's finest with either the stunner, virtual gun, or the control pad. Are you sure? Start streaming. Okay, so let's just see if this reinitializing this does.
We're live
anything.
again. It looks like they saw me doing the hand thing. We're
Yeah,
at
okay.
480p though.
Yeah, okay. So, but I have
HD.
0 drop frames.
Like a Saturn resolution.
Hey,
Hi,
look
everybody.
at that.
Welcome back to the SHIRO Show.
Welcome back. Thanks for
if you're
joining
listening
us.
to audio,
What
you're
have you
not
been up to
listening
this
to it.
week? No, I
Yeah.
mean, so yeah, now it says like 6,000 kbps, which is what I'm sending. I should be sending between. Go ahead. What? Dan?
Look, these technical difficulties are not our fault this time. I think
It's YouTube.
Probably.
No, it's YouTube. Yeah, now so far it's 0 drop frames.
It's
so
probably because I said the fucky word and the shitty word.
And now, okay,
kick
so
this
thanks
off.
again, Pat. If it happens again, now I get to blame you.
The curse words lower our bit rate, so every time we curse, the bit rate gets lowered.
So anyway, Virtua Cop 2 is probably my favorite Lycan game on the Saturn. It's super cool. I know that like Pandemonium likes Virtua Cop 1 more, but I think I like the sequel better. I like this. Got like branching paths.
Wait till he does a video on 2 and interviews those guys about 2, right?
Yeah.
Then he might have more of a bias, right? But
Maybe.
but I think doing that video definitely plays a part into the or is he just saying like he thinks that 1 plays better than 2?
I don't know. Maybe he just likes the level design better.
Sorry,
Do
I
you?
like 2 better than 1. Sorry, I like 2 better than 1. My bad.
Yeah.
I thought you said the opposite.
Yeah, typically I like 2 better than 1 too, but 1 is charming and it's a lot of fun. I also like a lot of the kind of unsung light gun shooters on the Saturn. Like you don't hear a lot of people talk Area 51. That's really great on Saturn.
I like
Maximum Force. Maximum Force is a lot of fun. Not a lot of people talk about or play that game. What's another? Death Crimson, of course, gets a ton of attention just because it's so bad. House of the Dead. Yeah, like the original House of the Dead. I kid you not, for all the talk that folks say about like it's this or that and it's maybe ugly or whatever, that was one of the games that nobody would put down at PRGE 2022. We had a big CRT, 2 guns, House of the Dead, running on loop, and it attracted a constant line of people, that wanted to play it, and it was like, it's just
I'll
arcade
make sure to
fun.
do it again this year.
Well, has anybody played Chaos Control? That didn't come out in the US, but it was a Lycan game that did come out in Europe and Japan.
But that one has.
I've been kind of interested to check it out. I haven't played it yet.
So there's a bunch of these kind of arguably janky shooters that came out in the early to mid 90s that were basically just full motion video. And you were like shooting targets on top of full motion video. And I think Chaos Control is an example of that. And I would just argue that it hasn't aged that well, like that,
really?
that kind of look. Yeah, there were some other ones like the
Mighty Hits.
I'm still sad that Mad Dog McCree never got a Saturn port.
Well, there you go.
Really.
Mad Dog McCree had actors in it, and I guess that kind of works. Yeah, that's a good example of probably like that genre working pretty well. They did that with Lethal Enforcers, I guess. But yeah, with that kind of shooter, there was games like that on the 3DO that also were like space shooters, but over full motion video. So the targets are like 3-dimensional, but the full motion video is really grainy, so it's like a difference in kind of image clarity. It kind of looks a little janky, but maybe on a CRT back in the day, it didn't matter because the whole CRT was blurry and it kind of like, made it look less obvious. But on any kind of nice scaler nowadays, some of those games are not the best. But yeah, I don't know.
Here's one I'm not sure it counts though. Police Knots and Hokkaido.
Oh yeah, Police Knots is a good.
Snatcher,
I mean, that's a hybrid, I guess, because it uses the light gun, and I would argue, that's what makes the Saturn version definitive, right? Because of the light gun support.
What's funny? I'm looking at the Sega Retro page on the Virtua Gun, where they have a list of all the compatible games on Saturn. And they have one that must be something that was added recently. I've never seen it here before because I've looked at this page before. It says Daisuke, which is a dating sim from 1997. Has Virtua Gun support. I don't know why. I don't know what's in that game. A dating sim that they need light gun support.
Well,
but apparently it does.
Is it like a shooting dating sim? Kind of like that other game was actually, like a racing dating sim.
It was developed by Success, maker of Cotton.
Dave, that's when the date doesn't go well.
That's when the date doesn't. Or you're like a gang member or something like that, and you're like, but in my free time, I date the ladies. I pick up girls. I don't know.
I mean, it does say on the back Virtua Gun and mouse support. So I don't know what you do in Daisuke, but yeah, that's another one.
I kind of want to find out now.
Doesn't that
Yeah, I know, me
literally translate to "I love you"?
Yeah, or
Yeah.
I like you.
I like you
Yeah,
a lot. Yeah,
I like you a lot. Bam, bam, bam.
yeah, I like you a lot. See ya.
Sounds sarcastic.
That's interesting. You're gonna have to research that one and maybe do a little write up.
I'll have to do a live stream
Totally.
of that.
Yeah, there you go.
Tell you what, you could write it up and then you can make it a best of Saturn. No, that'd be cool.
Oh, I wouldn't want to step on Peter's toes.
You don't want to step on. Well, I'm sure he would. I'm sure he would welcome you to write something about it. Hey, Frog Bowl, how's it going? Welcome to the chat.
Yo,
Pepetsu.
Frog Bowl.
And thank you to the 45 people who have stuck with us despite the network going down. The system is down.
Did Gunbear Game Goku come out? Yeah, Game Goku was on Saturn.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah, the game Paradise. Yeah.
Yep.
Or is it another game? It said Gunbare Game Goku.
Oh, Gunbare?
Like a different version of it?
Gunbare. I have no idea.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Is that just the subtitle or something?
CD set announced for Sega Rally's 30th anniversary. Go, Dan.
Yeah, so
Soundshock
this
series.
was kind of neat, and nobody saw it coming. The Sega's record label WaveMaster announced this week that they're going to honor the 30th anniversary of Sega Rally Championship hitting arcades by releasing a 2-CD soundtrack set. The first CD is going to have music from the arcade game, and the second CD will be the music composed for the Saturn and PC versions of the game. They did have different music, but there is a couple little bonuses in there. They have
final.
Yeah, well, no, I think it's just CD for now, and there's also no talk of a Western release for now. You can pre-order from Amazon Japan, Beep Shop, Disc Union, and Chara Ani, or Kara Ani. I don't know how you want to pronounce that. Those are all Japanese retailers. It's going to come out on October 17th, and it's going to feature a few new arrangements, like arranged this year, of original Sega Rally songs, including My Dear Friend Rally, which is you're right, the classic Rally! Sand and Dust Storm, that song. That you hear quite a bit in Pandemonium's video. It's awesome. Takanobu Mitsuyoshi is arranging that himself, along with a couple other pieces in here. And Shoji Meguro is arranging Getting Muddy. And Shoji Meguro was a longtime composer at Atlas on a lot of Persona games. He actually went freelance a few years ago, but he clearly is okay with still working with Sega, even though he left. So, yeah, he
couldn't
got
say
some
no
work
to
in here,
Rally
too.
like all of us.
Right, exactly. You can't. The set's also going to come with a booklet with comments. They'll probably be in Japanese, but the comments will come from Mitsuyoshi, who was in charge of Sega Rally's arcade music back in the day. And also, it's going to have comments from Takashi Hatani, who was in charge of the Saturn version's music. Mitsuyoshi posted in English about this album on Twitter, on X, if you will. After it was announced, he said in English, "Hey, you guys, I'm quite glad to say that at last, Sega Rally," he has lots of exclamation points in all this, by the way. He's very excited. "Sega Rally 30th Anniversary CD will be released on 17th October. I joined to arrange 3 songs as rearrangement songs in it, and I'll do hashtag Sega Soundstreet on YouTube with some guests around the date on sale. Don't miss it." So that's cool. I guess they'll be doing some kind of live stream on YouTube, maybe doing some performances and stuff.
Cool.
Also Sega Rally's original director, Kenji Sasaki, commented on X as well. He just kind of like reposted WaveMaster's announcement and just kind of pointed out that, it's been 30 years already since Sega Rally originally released. So there you go. What do you guys think about this?
I think I'm pretty excited.
Feel the heartbeat of the
Are you going to
man.
import this?
I'll wait for the vinyl release if they ever do one of those.
It's Heartbeat of the Land. I thought it was the line. I always thought it was.
I'm gonna say the line. I don't care what everyone else says.
The racing line, right? Yeah. Oh, yeah, well, it makes more sense, right?
The thing is that maybe that's what they intended it to be, but they got it wrong, like on the lyrics, because Heartbeat of the Line sounds a lot more like
Well,
racy
I mean,
than land. That sounds like
the-
some
Heartbeat of the
Knuckles stuff.
I forget his name, but
land.
like there was a native English speaker on staff who like helped write the lyrics for these songs, and he
Right.
said in his interview with Pandemonium that like they changed a lot of the lyrics. He thought he felt really good about his lyrics, and then they ended up changing a bunch of them to like match, I guess, the music or the singers, so what they were comfortable with or whatever. So like, yeah, maybe that was one of the things that they changed.
I guess, yeah, no, but yeah, like to me, it's not. Yeah, I'll keep saying it. I will make that a thing. I think it sounds better.
It was Ken Ibrahim, by the way, the white guy.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and he also was the guy who did some of the easy right maybe.
Right, yeah.
Heartbeat of the Land sounds like some like hippie stuff.
Yeah, Heartbeat of the Land.
That sounds like some stuff from Sonic Adventure.
Well, Sega guys, James,
Heartbeat of
think
the
that makes more
Mushroom.
sense.
Well, okay, so I can it makes it's like 6-1. So it's rally, right? So it's off road, and you are very much like one, in touch with the landscape, because
You're driving through nature.
You got to know every
Yeah.
corner like the back of your hand, in order to really be able to dominate. And you're going to know every surface, whether it's tarmac or whether you're going to slide on gravel and whatnot. So for that reason, I guess it could be the land, but also because we play Sega Rally and we get so in tune with like the racing line, that's why it made so much sense to me to be feel the heartbeat of the line.
You take because there's a lot of like
Right.
the optimal line of the
Yeah,
That's what
your
he's talking
optimal
about, yeah.
racing line, exactly. From and here we are, ADD again, getting into the weeds on this, but
At least we're still talking about rally.
no, I mean
bothers
that's, and also I have to say a lot of these songs were digital to begin with and released on digital format. So I'm not, yeah, it'd be cool if it got a vinyl release. But I'm also a big fan of Sega soundtracks on CD. If you guys have been to like VGMDB, a lot of the soundtracks out there for games were released on CD in Japan, and some of those CDs are worth a ton. Some Sega CD soundtracks are worth like $300 for a single CD.
Some of them are insane.
Because they're so
Like,
rare, limited print.
I remember the F-Zero X soundtrack is like $1,000 or something ridiculous.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. The PSO soundtrack, the one that was released in Japan, is like, I want it, but it's pricey. But yeah, so I like CD soundtracks too. I'm not, at least it's getting a release, like Dan said. Maybe if this one sells a lot, like in Japan and the US, maybe they'll consider putting it out on vinyl because it might be worth it. But yeah, so. Next up is the one that you just published like right before we went live.
No, right during we went live.
So, during us going
I
live.
published it right before and then started editing it.
Okay.
While we were
Saturn MiSTer Core makes more progress.
Yeah, so the Saturn, it's been about a month since my last story on the MiSTer, and at the time I had reported on how a new homebrew tool for checking the accuracy of emulating the Saturn sound chip was being used to make some improvements, and Pat helpfully recorded some footage of the sound effects in Bug and kind of comparing how like they were worse, they got a little better with some of the MiSTer improvements from a month ago. So I might have to check this again because, I mean, just a few days after I published that story, the developer, Sergey Dvodnenko, SRG320, he released some updates that like made the test a lot more green. He passed a lot more of the test. Now, the thing is that the test is actually, the tool's been improved and has had a lot of more checks added to it to kind of like do some more fine grain testing on how well the sound chip is being emulated. And so, and I didn't really talk about this in the story a whole lot because I mean, it's kind of getting in the weeds, but over the course of the last month, the core has like gone back into having a bunch of red on that test. And then as more updates have come out throughout the month, and there have been quite a few updates that have come out this month, it's gotten more in the green to the point where it's like there's only one little test that it's failing and everything else is green. I believe that the Saturn MiSTer Core emulates at least the sound chip more accurately than the Mednafen emulator at this point, which is pretty impressive because Mednafen's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
He's also made some some updates to the graphics. There was like an issue where like the background wasn't showing up in Princess Crown, which is why I've got it in the banner here, and now it is working. But one cool thing that made me change my lead to the story here, right before I went live with it, was that another developer, not named Sergey, added mouse support to the core. Core did not have mouse support for it, and I guess you can use any mouse, and the core will just treat it like it's a Saturn mouse controller. The developer's name is Ratboy, and Ratboy did a bunch of work in the last week, kind of like adding it to GitHub. And I guess Sergey liked his work enough that he merged it into the main unstable nightlies. It's not in the main branch yet, so if you like just update your MiSTer, normally you're not going to get this. You're going to have to go into the official MiSTer Discord server in the unstable nightlies channel and download it there and like manually apply it to your MiSTer. But yeah, there's mouse support now. Apparently, you'll like this, Pat. Ratboy added mouse support specifically because of police knots.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, he was like playing it, and he said, I was playing police knots with my friend, and he was like, this seems like it should be a mouse game. And so he went ahead and added mouse support to the MiSTer, so you can play police knots correctly. So that's cool.
I'm gonna have to get one of those like switchers where I can hit a button, and I can have my keyboard and mouse on my computer right here, switch over to the Saturn one over there, or the MiSTer over there, like a USB adapter.
Yeah,
so that way I can
That's
be
awesome.
able to easily switch. That'd be kind of cool.
And a cool knock-on effect to getting mouse support is that this opens up a lot of light gun games, because usually you play a MiSTer on HDTV, which doesn't support the light gun controller. So with the ones that support the mouse, which I think most of them do, at least, if not all of them, you can now play them using any mouse that you have handy. So
that's a really
awesome.
good point. Yeah, that's a good point. And
I'm excited for the people to get their hands on that, and hopefully they can easily get the new adapter, like the new MiSTer clones that are coming out, so they're able to play them a lot more accessible. But right now, those
Malenko got one of those.
Yeah,
Malenko got one.
Dial Up Chronicles questioned the chat. He has an analog phone line, and they're looking for someone else who also has an analog POTS line that could have an authentic Saturn to Saturn connection. Get in touch with Trekkies Unite 118. I believe he has an authentic POTS line. Yeah, a plain copper line. So you could join our SHIRO Discord and reach out to Trekkies.
Is it possible to call a POTS line over the using the NetLink stuff
directly? Yeah, just like it was yesterday. In fact, for believe it or not, the Mega Modem released all the way back on the Genesis by Sega themselves, not even X-Band, but like the Mega Modem, and it only works with the original Mark I Genesis. Those games actually still work. You can just dial direct if you have an analog POTS line. I don't think any work has been done in the community to traffic that stuff over the internet like X-Band has. But if you have, I know Joe, Sega RPG fan, has a Mega Modem, and he has like Cyberball. You can literally play Cyberball with the Genesis and the Mega Modem, which was released in 1990.
Cool.
1990 online gaming. It still works.
Can you dial it from the USB modems?
You don't need it. You don't. I mean, what's the question?
No, I meant like, so say I want to play somebody that has POTS. Can I dial them using my tumbler?
I don't think so, because see, you're dialing via the USB and you're going out over Ethernet, right?
Yeah.
But they're just like a plain old telephone line. So there's going to be some kind of compression decompression going on your end. I think the short answer to that is no. But yeah, if you have two Virgin Saturns with two Virgin Net links and just a copper line between, you can just dial a phone number and it should work. And that's the issue, is that these days phone lines aren't real phone lines most of the time. They're just VoIP,
right? And you're gonna have to use like the unpatched ones, because I don't think the patched ones will work.
There's another guy, Sundane or Cameron from Canada. I think he has an analog phone line as well. I used to maintain a list of folks with analog phone lines, but it was so small. I'm not sure we pinned it anymore. But those two folks are folks to reach out to. Anyway, anything else on the news front? That's awesome news about the MiSTer. Pat, you gonna bring your MiSTer to PRGE?
Absolutely, I'm bringing my MiSTer PRGE.
Nice.
Is there a way to kind of like have it be like a jukebox for all Sega consoles? Is there like a easy front end? There's a nice front.
Easy front end. No, there's not an easy front end right now.
So how do you handle that switching between consoles, or is it literally just?
I just use a keyboard, hit the button, go to the console I want to switch to, hit the enter button.
Nice.
And then it just switches to it.
And it does Dreamcast too, right? Is there?
No,
not yet. Oh, okay.
It does a bunch of Sega arcade games. It does actually I'll have to check if it does Moonwalker. If
does it do Model 1?
I think some of the Model 1, because I knew it does Alien Swarm. Alien Swarm's on there, and I believe that the the Fantasy Zone's on there too.
Nice.
So
cool.
those two
All right. Well,
I don't know
great.
if that's 16 or not.
We'll have to get some MiSTer.
It does CPS 1 and 2 though.
Nice.
So that's really cool. And then it supports a lot of different consoles. Honestly, I'm gonna see if I can get Moonwalker on there. I might not even have to bring the board for that if we want to do that.
That would be rad. Do they have? Are they working on CPS 3, or is that not even a possibility?
I think Jodigo is working on that. I saw a picture he posted where he had CPS 3 and it's like, hey, work a copy of CPS 3 and then Street Fighter 3rd Impact, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
But let me check if Moonwalker's on MiSTer. I think it. So it is on MiSTer. Michael Jackson's Moonwalker. So it actually is on there. So yeah, we could probably just do that if we want to, instead of doing the board, if we want to do that.
Good.
I'll talk to Kay about that.
Sounds good.
Maybe it might be worth it just to have the authentic board there and playing it, but I don't know.
It would be worth it, but I mean, if you had the MiSTer as well, you can show off. You can definitely demonstrate to folks who are completely new to MiSTer or have heard of it but not really been hands-on with it, because it's always interesting. There's still a ton of people who've literally only heard of it and not really gone hands-on with MiSTer, that you could show them like, hey, look, you can do all these Sega games.
I'll have to write on the power supply, this is not a bomb.
Yeah, right. How do you get that through airport security, right? Because
I'm putting my check-in. I'm not putting it in my bag.
Oh, you put it in your check-in. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna put the power supply in there with the other stuff. I'll wrap up the has gun and the adapters. The only issue is like the USB controllers, but I imagine Kay has probably a bunch of them lying around, so we don't really have to worry about that.
Right. Yeah.
We'll
power supplies are gonna be. I'm hoping they have enough for us. Gerald said that if we absolutely need to go buy some, we can buy some. Not a big deal, but I mean, when you're there and you're setting up, the last thing you want to do is leave, because you get going, and it's then you have to.
So when are you guys getting into Portland?
Thursday. Thursday. Pat gets in, I think, an hour or two before I do. But I'm there like noon, and then it's like we're gonna be putting up RGB lighting, and we're gonna be kind of situating the room.
I might actually just wait in the airport and get snacks and just wait for Dave to come in, so we
can ride together.
Yeah, you do that. I get in around 11.
Okay, then I'm not that much later than you.
So I might just like go to the airport lounge or like go to a lobby and just get something to eat.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, everybody can look forward to some cool Portland Retro Game Expo coverage from SHIRO next week.
Definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
What I want to bring.
Forward to that.
It's going to be fun. Emerald's going to be out with us. He it's kind of like a last minute addition, but he's going to crash on one of our couches, and we'll do the whole like breakfast buffet whatever, and then we'll be Thursday and Friday setting up. Hopefully completely ready to go by Saturday morning at 10 o'clock. Saturn Lounge opens at 10 o'clock on Saturday and runs until I think 6 is close for that. And then we're out. So. Well, I think we're tearing down Sunday night and then leaving Monday. So
Monday morning. So we'll go on our merry way. Last person out checks out, I guess. Well, actually, we don't have to nowadays. Usually you just like leave.
Yeah.
Well, take lots of pictures of the Sega Lounge that you guys set up, so
Definitely.
we can like give everybody sort of a virtual tour online, like maybe put
Yeah.
up as an article or something.
I'm
We'll be
definitely
live from
gonna
the expo. We'll try to be.
like, unless I get like sick as a dog like I did last time, and I was only like halfway there mentally. If I'm like at full health, I'm going to be doing my best to like shoot copious amounts of footage. No amount of footage is too much, right? Because we can always use it and put it into kind of like a big highlight reel or something like that. But yeah, no, we're gonna do our best to really try to bolster the content, you know, for folks who aren't able to go there. I know Paul, I believe Paul Bort, who's in our chat, he's going to be there like he is every year. I know Seven Shades. I'm really looking forward to seeing Seven Shades. He's very quiet during the year, but we get to see him at PRGE, and that's always fun.
Get the big Cube Cat update, hopefully.
Yeah, get a nice Cube Cat update. There you go.
Crogbull asked if we're going to be live from the expo. Yeah, you guys are going to be streaming the show from the show floor next Friday. I'll just be like calling in voice at best.
I
Here's another question
suppose
for
something like
Frogbolt.
that. Yeah.
Would you like us to play a demo at the show? We could probably play something if you're comfortable with that.
Yeah. Hit him in DM.
Yeah, hit us in
Don't put him
DMs
on
if
the
you're comfortable with that. We could play
But
something.
I mean, definitely, you know, it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I think what I'm really excited for is just the Sega Lounge, just the opportunity. Even though we love the Saturn so much, and that is really our focus. I bleed Sega Blue. I absolutely love Sega, all of Sega, and it's going to be so much fun to be able to show that to people, to do our best to kind of like show off what made Sega so great. And I guess our pitch or our idea for this room is that when you enter the room, you just feel like it's just dripping Sega from every nook and cranny. So we've got a bunch of banners, like really big wall hanging banner, like think like a hockey game championship banner, you know, but we got them surrounding the room with like different Sega ad campaigns. And we're going to have like several Saturn stations, several Genesis stations, 32X CD, Sega CD, Dreamcast, like
Maybe Super Gun, arcade games if we're lucky.
Nomad,
Master System,
2 Master System stations.
Nice.
We're gonna have. I don't know if we can get the 3D glasses. I really would love to, but getting some of this hardware is really hard.
Yeah.
But anything we can do, we'll try. We've got a table. We got like a nice little round table, like for eating and kind of like talking, and it'll have Game Gears on it that people can pick up and play. And then we have another one, Nomads, so people can kind
Pico
of like
stations.
Pico. Well, Pat, I don't know. Pat, do you still have your Pico?
I can't find it.
You can't find it.
Dang.
Yeah,
It's somewhere in my parents' house. I know we never got rid of it. So.
And we're also going to have some content creators like John Hancock will visit. We're going to have G to the next level. I think the Game Apologist was like a 50-50. I don't know if he's going to end up being there. But yeah, I mean, and there'll be, of course, the SHIRO crew. So come hang out, stay the whole time, or just, you know, make it kind of like
unexpected guests. We have like people that come by that are like
That's true.
famous that like stop by the line. Adam Korlick's gonna be there too. We forgot about him.
Of course. Like how could I forget? Adam will be there with the Puruto, Sega Puruto, and then Sega Steve, our very own Sega Steve. He's gonna have his awesome Super Prologue 21 set up, like the huge
and we're hoping
tower.
you'll be able to do some karaoke.
Yeah. And that's going to be like its own table. Those two things, like the oddities table, you know, Sega oddities or unreleased prototypes or whatever. I suppose,
Dave.
Yeah.
You've got a game to get to.
I do. I have a Padres game. I got to go switch out the seats in the car and stuff like that because I'm taking a few people. But anyway, so yeah,
Padres.
Lots of fun. It's going to be great. We will do our best. I promise. We'll try to do some interviews and stuff with people on the show. I know Nick. He'll bring that gravitas. You know, he's going to want to work. You know, he's definitely going to want to do some like reporting because that's just.
And I'm bringing my camera as well, and we have the
nice.
The microphone set.
With
like
the labs, we have labs, so you should be able to hear us this time. Yeah. And hopefully you'll be able to figure out the whole situation with like recording the audio from the board, right?
I think it'll be easier. Basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the microphone thing set up. I'm going to have it like going through to the soundboard to the tape recorder. So we'll figure something out.
We need to record digital too, though. So
That's what I said. That's
yeah.
what I
Okay.
meant.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Okay. All right. Cool. Well, let me go ahead and read off our patron supporters. The $10 and up Patreones. We got a Murder of Crows. We'll also be at PRGE. You guys can. It's gonna be fun hanging out with him. Casual Seth, Cerulean, Chris Piper, Chris 1997 XX, Daniel Fredrickson, David Zaney, Derek Pascarella, A-Team, Emerald Nova, Evo 42, Fat Drunk Friend Otaku, Gem Clash or Rank, Jay Hersey, Johannes Fetz, Lion Wing Publishing, Memphis, Normal Guy, Nutrageous, Robert Ramsey, Rowan Dinkt, Sega Steve, Stone Man, The Sega Guys, Wafflekins, and Young Money Swee. Jung Rhythm Swee.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone who supports us, and everyone else that supports us at whatever level. We really appreciate you. And as I always say, if you can't afford to financially contribute, just contribute your time by joining our show Discord and becoming involved with like the Shiro Challenge or the get your Saturn online and join the tournaments. You know, or other things. I mean, you don't specifically have to do those two things, but there's a lot of cool stuff that you can participate in our Discord. And yeah, if you haven't checked out some of the latest content of our bros, the Sega guys, go check out their channel too. They've dropped some really big videos within the past week that are amazing. Both Dan and James. So go check that out. Queue it up, add it to your playlist. But yeah, James did this video that was absolutely a banger on why the Saturn wasn't a failure. At least wasn't a failure to him. It didn't fail him, you know. And
it's not a failure today.
And it's not a failure today. Yeah, it's very much a success in our eyes, and we love the hell out of it. So anyway, thanks to everyone watching the show. This has been Saturn Dave.
And Danthrax.
And Trainoku.
Reminding you that you must play Sega Saturn.
You must.
You must.
Or we're cutting off your arms.
We'll catch you later. Okay, I got really, really grim at the end there. See ya.
セガサターンしろ